I'm Alex McCord and welcome to The Real Deal on TheStir.com. Today we've got season 9, episode 15 of The Real Housewives of It's My Party and I Will Cry If I Want To in Orange County, as well as some delicious dish about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Woo! Okay, first Orange County. Poor Lizzie. Newbie cast member Lizzie Robzek seems to be falling into the trap of she brings no drama, so we're all bailing on her. What is that? Well, when you're a housewife and you're about 2/3, 3/4 getting toward the end of filming, you get tired and you're a little bit over it. And you might say to your line producer, look, I have got 4 events to film this weekend. I cannot do them all. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I have a hangnail. Get me out of something. The producer might look at the schedule and think, all right, well, there will be no drama at that party. You could skip that one. On the other hand, he might say, well, this cast member and that cast member can't go to this event, so no confrontation is going to happen, so you can probably skip that one too. A good producer will help you decide which event to skip and then make you call or email that housewife to cancel. Even better if it's on camera. But an even better producer will do nothing and see whether the housewife calls or emails to cancel on their own, because if they don't, that is an additional story point to be used. So, for Lizzie, Shannon had apparently foreshadowed that she wasn't feeling well, didn't know whether she could make it. Shannon also called Lizzie, canceled, apologized, explained she was still sick, asked for a rain check, all good, no drama there. Tamra, on the other hand, did nothing. So, 10 minutes after Tamra was supposed to arrive, Lizzie called her asking, where are you? Tamra says, on the couch. I think that Tamra probably had decided to skip this event so long ago that she didn't even remember that Lizzie's filmed birthday event was happening that night. Caught unaware. Who busts Tamra on this? Well, who better than the original Real Housewife of Orange County, Vicki Gunvalson. Vicki has been around the longest and she knows all the tricks. There are a million ways you can get out of doing something. On one level, Vicki can see exactly what Tamra may or may not be doing. Now, this is not to say that Tamra's daughter is not sick. I'm sure she is. But you can have a sick daughter and also use it as an excuse to get out of filming. On another level, Vicki knows she can get away with stirring the pot. And by telling Lizzie all about it, she's adding another story point and she's scoring drama points. I think everyone decided it was okay to skip out on the new girl. Now, Vickis Potstirring would have been perfection if she hadn't been caught on audio complaining that she had to hang out with Dumb and Dumber. Now, that wasn't a part of last night's episode, but we see it in the tease for next week. That is something that you have to watch out for on reality TV. If you are wearing a microphone, it doesn't matter whether cameras are on you or not. If you say something inflammatory, the editors will make it work. They'll subtitle it. They'll put up a picture of you while they play the audio. It's gonna happen. Whether Lizzie heard Vicki say it live or whether a producer told Lizzie about it after listening to the tapes, we don't know. But either way, it adds to the pot. It's fodder to be discussed on the girls' trip. But before we get to the girls' trip, Heather needs to know what a dirty Sanchez is. Let's just say it's not something that needs to be part of Valentine's Day dinner. Ever. Thank you, Mr. Google. Why is there a girls' trip? Well, because it's the Housewives. There has to be a girls' trip. But in order for any of us watching to believe that it's halfway conceivable that Shannon would go anywhere with Heather, there needs to be some reconciliation, or salvation, as Heather calls it. Lizzie thinks Shannon will break, but in a good way. Vicki thinks Tamra already broke Shannon. Terry thinks that Shannon will have a psychotic break in Bali. But hey, maybe it'll be a breakthrough. Remember Scary Island? You never know. What I appreciated from Heather was a clear strategy. Heather wanted to get on Shannon's good side and pave the way to get her on board for the trip. What did she do? Heather met Shannon in her comfort zone. Shannon's a spiritual person, so Heather talks Hinduism, reincarnation, rebirth, salvation. And just like that, Shannon eats it all up and she's in. Mission accomplished. The girls are all going. There are several pots on the stove to be stirred. I mean, the producers must be rubbing their hands in glee at this point in the process. We'll have to wait until next week to see Bali. But meanwhile, there is dish to be served down in Atlanta. Season 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is underway with filming, as I learned from the lovely Cynthia Bailey when I saw her a couple of weeks ago. Now, the big story, of course, is Apollo Nida and Phaedra Parks. Apollo was sentenced to 8 years in prison earlier this month, and he's waiting to get his facility assignment and window of time to report. While that is up in the air, you can bet that producers are filming with him as much as possible before they lose him. Loose-lipped friends of the cast report that Phaedra and Apollo shot a big public scene with the kids, and they all arrived in separate cars, even the children. Even looser lips report that last week, Apollo also filmed a scene with Kenya Moore outside Peter and Cynthia's Bar 1, and Kenya brought up Textgate again. Because that's exactly what she would do. No word on whether she had a magic wand or a megaphone. But the juicy part? While this was happening, Phaedra was on her way to Bar 1 to join the scene. She found out that Apollo was there, and she left. She went home. Now, this sort of thing does happen on The Housewives. The gossip rags have been saying she's taken a leave of absence from filming. I don't buy that for a second. I think she just bailed on that night. We call this an ambush. One cast member refuses to film with another. Producers are desperate to get these two together to advance the storyline, so they tell them both to show up at an event and keep the other's presence a secret, or attempt to. Then, boom, confrontation. Whoa, these two people are there. Ooh, let's film it and see what happens. Seems like Phaedra had a heads up, and whether it was Apollo or Kenya she didn't want to see, either way, she hightailed it out of there. Personally, I would not be surprised at all if Phaedra serves divorce papers on Apollo before he goes into prison. Apollo has been pretty open in interviews that the marriage is over, citing Phaedra's no-show at his sentencing as the last straw. Well, one thing is certain. If I am the Phaedra Parks and Apollo Nida producer, I am not sleeping. I am filming 24/7 until he goes away to seize every last little moment. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Do you think that Tamra really did bail on Lizzie? Do you think it's right for reality TV producers to exploit a cast member going to jail, or is that the least of Apollo's worries right now? For now, I'm McCord. You're watching The Real Deal on TheStir.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you tomorrow.